Hello everyone, thank you for clicking and for watching the video. Welcome to the free game collection, and we are doing another one of these. This time we are purging the PS1 collection. So we purged the PS2, I'll put a link around me to that video somewhere to see how that went. This time PS1 all the way. So why are we doing this really quickly? Basically, I'm in that unfortunate position that I have too many games on the shelves. I need to make some room because there's limited amount of space up in my game room. All these games here I have played, and basically I don't know where they came from. They would have been free at some point in time, but I basically have no interest in playing them. So I played them all through once and decided that actually I am definitely not going to go back and play any of these. So we're purging them because they are literally acting as filler in my collection. So the plan is to get rid of these ones and see if we can turn some filler into a killer game. So that's the plan here. This one's going to be ever so slightly different to the PS2 Purge because I can't just walk these into CX because CX don't take any of these games. So we are going to be reliant on Vinted and Facebook, and maybe an independent retro store might want them. So we're going to have to see how we get on. But before I go, I need to run through and explain to you why I'm purging these games out of my collection. So first off, we're looking at the 20 game family games condominium. There's a load of casino games on here, poker, roulette, we've got bridge, and then there's some racing games on there. There's some right weird and wonderful. None of them are particularly very good. I played it for a little while, just decided, you know what, not for me. So yeah, 20 family games, none of which particularly good. You got quantity over quality on that one. This one is Warzone 2100, 2100. I don't know how you'd say it, but it seems to be a strategy game. I'm usually into my strategy games, but this one's a bit dated now. I really struggled with the controls. I couldn't get my tanks to move and everyone just kept coming and shooting me, and I'm just flicking from left to right. I wasn't enjoying it too much. If I wanted to play a similar game to that, there's better options for me in my collection. Let's do these three together. So I've said before, I'm not a massive fan of racing, especially Formula 1. We've got Formula 1, we've got Formula 1 2000, and we've got Formula 1 2001. So firstly, Formula 1, it's just really dated. It's really blocky. The controls weren't very good. It's not very immersive anymore. Just wasn't a fan of it. I played one race about half the way through and thought definitely not for me. These two are very similar. There is a big graphical improvement on these two over that Formula 1 game. But again, there's just better options out there for me now. If I wanted to play a Formula 1 game, which to date the moment's never come upon me to want to play one, I can go and get one on a much more up-to-date console and have a better time than playing with these. There's no nostalgia here for me. So yeah, those three Formula 1 games, they can move on. We've then got, we'll do these two together as well. We've got Army Men Amiga Soldier and Army Men Lock and Load. So Army Men 3D is a game I've got a lot of nostalgia for. I've got that in the collection. Definitely keep hold of that one. If I suddenly wanted to play a game in the Army Men series, it's going to be that one over these two. Lock and Load is basically pretty much the same thing from what I played. There's very little difference between this and Army Men 3D, so that one's not going to win out over 3D, so I'll put that one straight away to be purged. But Amiga Soldier is a little different. It's got more of a top-down view. It seems to be controlling a team from what I could gather when I started playing it. It's just not very good. The graphics aren't really there, and there's so many better options, like I say now. So yeah, Amiga Soldier, not the cheapest again, not the easiest to find either, but not for me, I'm afraid. So next, okay, so London Racer, not a great game. Graphics are not good, controls are not good, it's just not a good game. But the quirkiness of this one is it's sort of based in the late 90s in London, England. I think it was London anyway, it's pretty much, yeah, well, it's got to be, hasn't it? It's London Racer. But the only quirk with this is you get to see all the old cars that if you're my age you saw every day growing up. That's a nice little quirk to it, but it's not enough for me to go back and play. So London Racer, interesting to play, nice little environment in the cars, a little different, but just not a good enough game. What we got here, so these two I think, so yeah, we've got Dancing Stage and the Jungle Book Groove Party. This one requires the dance mat, and this one's one of those dance simulators where you've got to hit the beats, you know, in time to press the right button as they come up, like Guitar Hero or Parappa the Rapper. Yeah, just not great. Just not great. I'm never going to whack out. I don't have a dance mat, so this one didn't stand a chance anyway. Again, I'm just not going to suddenly turn around and decide to start dancing on a dance mat. And Jungle Book Groove Party, it's not the worst, this one. The graphics were okay. It's a Disney game. Your kids might like this one, but not for me so much, thank you. Let's do these. What we got here? Oh, okay, let's do these three together. So we've got Sports Car GT, Tommy Mackinnon Rally, I think that's how you say that guy's name, and TOCA Touring Cars Championship. Again, I'm not a big racing car guy. Preferred these over the Formula One. The Tommy Mackinnon one was actually pretty decent. I actually considered maybe keeping hold of it, but I did realise you're never going to play it. It's just not as bad as I thought it would be. But Tommy Mackinnon, not too bad. Much better controls on this one than any of the Formula Ones. I like the car selection in it as well. Just not great enough. Not great enough for me in a genre I'm not a fan of to go and back and play it. TOCA Touring Car Championship. I've heard of this before. I think this is quite fondly thought of by some. Just again, not too much for me. It was okay. It was all right. These are again Honda, Vauxhall, Volvo, Ford, Nissan. Some of these cars looking on the back, you can go pick these up for about £1 now. So it's a TOCA Touring Championship. Again, not terrible. And this one was actually okay. This was a little bit more slightly arcadey. What's it called? I keep forgetting this one. Sports Car GT. Yeah, not too bad at all. Not too bad, but I had to ask my question to myself that if I was going to play one of these games, am I going to play this over Need for Speed Underground or Automodelista? I'm not. So this one can be moved on. It's never going to stand a chance against those. Oh God, so we've got Cricket Champion. Cricket Captain 2000, sorry. I could barely set up a game. I don't really know much about cricket, but this one was just frustrating from the word go. It didn't stand a chance. I could barely do anything on it. I just wanted to turn it off. So MTV Sports Snowboarding. I really wanted to enjoy this. It just wasn't very good. The controls are really bad on it. You'd probably expect there is a lot of white because of the environment you're in, but there's just too much white. The graphics aren't great. You can't really tell what you're doing. It's just, yeah, between the controls and the graphics and the environment, the slopes that you're going down, not a great one, that one. Couldn't stick with it. Tetris Plus, nothing wrong with Tetris Plus, to be fair. It's Tetris, lots of different types of Tetris with different rules that you can play through. Just to me, Tetris is Tetris on the Game Boy, and if I suddenly want to play Tetris, that's definitely where I'm going to play it. So that one just would never stand a chance over the Game Boy Tetris, so that one might as well move on. Oh, M&M's Shell Shocked. This is like one of those games that, remember, you used to be able to get games in magazines or in your cereal and things. That's like this. It's a bunch of different types of mini games. I played a racing game on it. I played a puzzle game. Not very good. Not very good. Not very fun. It's just, no fun to be had with that one. What we got? Oh, saying that, this one I nearly kept as well. The Italian Job. So a bit quirky, this one. It's got the Italian Job theme tune, which is quite nice. It's very similar to Driver 1, how it plays. There's someone doing a really bad Michael Caine impression throughout the whole thing, which is actually quite quirky. But that's it. That's literally it. You're only playing it for the music and for Michael Caine. So you might as well go watch the Italian Job if you fancy a bit of that. Not a terrible game, just not enough there for me to keep, but you're playing it pretty much for the Michael Caine impression. What have we got here? Okay, so we've got two golf games here. We've got World Cup Golf and PGA Tour 98. This was the better one. Not too bad. The graphics are actually quite nice for a PS1 game, but again, golf games, they're not something I'm into, and if I did suddenly want to play a game of golf, I've got quite a few Tiger Wolf, what's his name? What's his name? The golfer. I forgot his name. Anyway, Tiger Woods. There we go. I've got a couple Tiger Woods games down there. I'm going to play that over these. So that one doesn't stand a chance against Tiger Woods. And that one, World Cup Golf, is nowhere near as good as PGA Tour 98. So that one definitely doesn't stand a chance. These graphics are really bad. The only time it gets somewhat good is when you hit the ball. It like does a little cutscene. As soon as it lands, the gameplay and the graphics are just terrible on it. Magic Carpet. I actually picked this up last year. So this has got a terrible draw distance. I think South Park on the N64, the PlayStation 1, the draw distance is just terrible. It's really boring. From what I could, I was just flying around on a carpet and just looking down at a load of polygons, not figuring out what it is I was supposed to be doing. Not the cheapest of games either. In really good condition as well. But yeah, Magic Carpet. Not for me, thank you. Not for me. True Pinball. Wanted to like this one. Could not hit the ball for the life of me. I played this for about 10 minutes. Think I hit that ball 2 or 3 times. So yeah, it's got to move on. I've got a pinball game on the PS2. I think it's Galib Pinball or something. That's fantastic. So that is never going to get on never going to get a playthrough over that one. These two, let's do these two. Scrabble and Chess Master 2. I have a thing with board games on consoles. There's no point, just go and play them. A, I've never had the urge to go play Scrabble. I've got it downstairs, pretty sure I do. And if I do, I'll go play it on a board game the way it should be played. And Chess Master. I do like chess, but I've definitely got a chessboard downstairs. And again, if I suddenly decide I want to play a game of chess, I'm not going to sit down and play it on a PS1. So that one can move on as well. Last few here, we've got UEFA Champions League. Not a terrible game. Quite a few different teams on here. There's like some historical teams on here. The menu's quite hard to navigate. The gameplay's not terrible, it's just not as good as FIFA on the PS1. So if I suddenly want to play some football on the PS1, I'm going to go to FIFA, not UEFA Champions League. So that one's not going to stand a chance over FIFA. That one can move on. And the last two, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Junior and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Second Edition. So Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I played that loads growing up. I've kept that in my collection. Obviously, loads of nostalgia for that. Junior is just questions for a younger audience, so I don't need that, won't be playing that one. And second edition is the exact same game with slightly different questions, basically, which just makes sense, but I'm not going to play this one over the one that I've got nostalgia for, because I can't remember all the answers to that one anyway, can I? So that one can move on. So yes, these are the games that we're going to be looking to purge out of the collection. None of them here are like some massive big hitters. Like I say, I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to get rid of these. I'm probably going to take them, put them on Facebook and see if I can do some like job bundles or something. But yeah, I'm going to go figure all this out and I'll be back in a minute. And I'm back. It's been about 2 weeks since I filmed that first part. Like I said, I couldn't just walk in CX this time around like we did with the PS2 because they didn't take those games. So I had to go through different means. So how have I moved them on, basically? So there is a subscriber that's been watching for quite a while, and he reached out and said, if I ever move on any of my Black Label PS1 games, can I give him a shout? Because he's going for a full Black Label PS1 collection, which is one hell of an achievement to go for. So I contacted him. He took a few off me that he needed. So I hope they've made their way up to Yorkshire nice and safely. Fantastic. Hope you enjoy those, mate. I put the rest up on Facebook. I had 2 people come and collect just 2 or 3 off me, just a couple that they wanted, so they took those. And then the rest I took into GameSmart, which is that independent store in Birmingham that we visited not too long ago. He took the majority of the rest of them off me. There is 4 still sitting down in that corner because the cases and things are just too battered. He didn't want them. So to be honest with you, I don't want them either. I'll just walk them into the charity shop next time I walk past. So they've all gone. They've all gone. And since I was in GameSmart, it only seemed right to spend a bit of money in there. So all of that PS1 filler has been turned into 2 games, 2 bits of killer for me at GameSmart. What games are they? So first one, Oddworld, Abe's Exodus. I've always wanted this game. I didn't have this one growing up, but Abe's Oddworld was a massive game for me growing up. I played it so much, and I knew there was a second one, and I just never got the opportunity to have it. This is in absolutely fantastic condition. This is as minty fresh as you can get. Yeah, I've just always wanted it. It does seem to be just a straight sequel of the first one. Looking at the back, seems to be exactly the same gameplay, so I'm definitely going to have a go on this. Just one of those games, like I said, I didn't have it growing up, but I've always been looking at it thinking I must get that someday, and it's been on my list of must have before I can say I've completed my PS1 collection. So I finally got it now. It's in absolutely cracking condition. Really not a rare game by any stretch, but just one that, like I say, I'm getting to the bit now where I'm just picking up the last few games that I've always wanted. So Oddworld, Abe's Exodus, fantastic. And the last one, exactly the same, Final Fantasy VI. So I've said I haven't played any of the Final Fantasies on PS1, but I've always wanted the full collection, or at least the numbered series of them anyway, on the PS1, because they're just iconic, aren't they, for the PS1. I do need to sit down and have a go on them. The Final Fantasy VI just hasn't been in my local store for ages. I haven't seen it since I decided that I was going to finish the PS1 collection this year, but this one I picked up off him. It's in lovely condition, got the manual. Yeah, absolutely. The only problem with this one is a slight nick on the plastic there, but I can easily swap that round with actually one of those 4 might have a thing I can swap round now, actually. But yeah, Final Fantasy VI, pick that up, absolutely buzzing for that one. So all that fodder, all that filler has been turned into 2 PS1 games I'm desperately after. Now I've realised as well, now I've got these, so the main aim for this year was to try and get all the PS1 games that I wanted into the collection. If every single one that I've always told myself I must collect, I want to get in the collection this year. I've managed to pick up pretty much all the ones that CX don't sell already, and all the others that I need are sold in CX, and the amount of voucher we got there will cover the cost of them very easily. So I'm very confident that this year we will be able to finish my personal PS1 collection. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's something yeah, I can't wait to see it all on the shelves. And now we've got a clear bit of space, so I can actually stick it on the shelves. which is fantastic. And again, I'm already looking at it here. The collection looks so much nicer. It's just title after title after title, and there's no sections of just random games anymore. Absolutely fantastic. It looks brilliant. So thank you very, very much for joining me. Take care of yourselves.